Hey Rooster, how's it going?
Good, you?
Doing good. What were you doing earlier? I was trying to get in touch with you.
I was hanging out with my family.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I you so we were talking about I think your college and something else. I'm trying to remember exactly everything, but uh, so 3 weeks ago you returned home. When? So were you kicked out, or did you leave, or quit, or how
I
did those
got kicked out.
kicked out? Did they give an
Yeah.
official reason, like an official paper?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, what did the paper say? Like, did it state the reasoning?
I didn't do my assignments,
And now,
and they decided to kick me out so I could get at least a little bit of a refund instead of no refund at the end of the year.
so is it, are you able to go back there or reattend?
Uh, in a year, yeah, but I don't think I will.
In a year? They put you on a, like a, what do you, they banned you?
Academic probation.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know some places that are like that. I don't, I, uh, did they, what, do you know what your, did you have a GPA?
I did, but I don't know what it is.
Do you know what your grades were? Or like, was it based off of one semester or was it based off of the whole, like
Both semesters.
both semesters? Do you know what the grades were in the classes?
My highest was a 40.
A 40, so, and passing would be considered what?
A 70.
70. So you have to have a 70 or higher to pass.
Yeah.
So all your classes were 40 or lower?
Mm-hmm.
What classes were you taking?
Mm-hmm.
What classes were you taking?
Uh, just biblical studies.
So all your classes were on biblical studies, or how many classes were you
Yes.
taking?
8.
8. So 4 in the first semester, 4 in the second?
Yep.
Okay, so and all the classes were on different biblical studies?
Yep.
Huh. So what was the class setup like? Like, was were they on campus or in class or were they online?
Both, but mainly on campus.
On campus. Okay. What was the classroom setting like?
I don't understand the question.
Well, I mean, like when you were in class, did everybody just come in and start listening to whatever the professor was saying?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Was there any kind of group assignments, or was it kind of you just came in, sat, listened, and left, or
Depends on the teacher.
okay.
Because each teacher had different teaching method.
Ah,
Some teachers did in-class projects. Other teachers did just homework.
okay. What would you say the easiest and the toughest classes were?
The easiest were the ones that did group assignments, and the hardest ones were just homework.
Okay. I'm assuming homework was probably the reason why the grade was low, or was there also
Yes, because I just didn't do my homework.
uh so hmm was there a lot of homework assignments?
Yes,
Okay. How many did they usually give?
5 per class per week.
5 per class per week. So does that equal to 5 assignments per week, or is that, or how many?
No. 20 assignments per week.
20. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's way more than what they gave me. They would maybe give me at most 5, maybe on a crazy week, 6 to 10. I don't, and I think 10 was hardly ever a thing. But
Hmm.
now, was that each class would give you like 20 assignments,
No.
or in
Each
total?
class would give me about 5.
Okay, so on an average week, how many assignments would you end up kind of been going through?
About 10 to 15.
Oh wow, that is quite a lot. Because my,
Mm-hmm.
because what I end up doing now, were you said you were mostly on campus or in class?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm kind of comparing my, because I had kind of a similar situation. Um, is your college considered public or private? Do you know? Or like, what's it called? Um, I guess there isn't really a big difference in the two now that I think about it, because most of them have a standard process where you have to do an application, and uh, then it's kind of dependent on whether or not they want to take you, and then you have to go for their program. Um,
Yeah.
how was that? So all your classes were failing grades?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
My lowest was a 15%.
Oh man, because
Yeah.
at least because when I was in community college, I had some passing grades. I don't know if I had an A or not in any of my classes, but because I had failing grades at the first community college, but when I had to uh, restart the second time, um, I had to basically start over from scratch. They didn't even transfer anything from the first college, which when I look at it, um, I think is a good thing because my GPA doesn't look like it transferred over. Um,
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
in my case, it's a good thing because my GPA was really bad, and it would have been
Mm,
better to start over from scratch rather than include the GPA. In my case,
makes sense.
yeah. But did you ever have any issues with any of your teachers?
Not teachers, no. I got along with all my teachers.
Okay, what would you say was what led you to not do the assignments?
Gaming.
Gaming.
Yeah. And
Okay.
getting distracted easily.
Because I remember you telling me that you didn't have any kind of connection, or you had a limit or like an allowance on how much internet you were able to use when you were on campus in your dorm.
Yeah. That
Hmm.
was per day.
Did your roommate ever offer to help?
Nope. Me and my roommate did not get along.
Ah, that sucks. What was wrong? Why didn't you get along with your roommate? Was there any kind of just different?
He'd prefer going to bed at 10 while I'd prefer going to bed at 1.
Ah, okay, that does make
Yeah.
sense. Um,
And we fought over the window quite a bit.
how so? Like you said, you fought over the window. In what manner?
He wanted it open, I wanted it closed, and we kept opening and closing it constantly.
Oh, that sucks. I know what that's like. Somebody, is it kind of like a temperature thing, or is it more of a,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm like that sometimes with my grandparents, but Oh, that sucks because I'm just thinking because I had my issue was kind of both teachers and then the school system. And I'm assuming in your case, school system probably was a bigger factor. Um, because a lot of the classes they give so many assignments, and I don't know why they have this set up. Because it used to be you could, basically take a class, not do the assignments, but as long as teachers saw that you were, putting in some kind of effort, and at by the end of the class, they could say that, well, this person has reasonably learned a passable amount of information, they would pass you with like a C. Um, but now it's like they don't care what you learn in class or what you go through the material as long as getting the grades and the work done.
Yeah.
That's what it's like now. Did you ever have to pay money to do the homework?
What do you mean by that?
So for me, a few of my classes, for example, I had a math class, and then that in order to do the assignments, all the teachers uh, partnered with a company. Usually, it was like McGraw Hill, Holt, I think was another company. Um,
Hmm.
there's a few I can think of. Um, there's a synergy program. There's some kind of Canvas program that does something else too. But there's like a platform you have to access in order to do the homework assignments, or the homework assignments are on that platform. And to do them, you have to have a passcode or password. And to get that password, you have to pay money, which is usually somewhere between $50 on the lower end to as high as $360 for my math class.
Yeah, we didn't have to do that.
Okay, so at least you have that. Mine was
Yeah.
worse because I had to take my first community college. They had a class called college algebra, and I had to take that class 3 times, and then I had to take it a fourth time in university. 3 times I took it in community college with the first community college. Twice was online and once was in class, and I failed all 3 times. And each time I had to pay for the class and also pay that. I think the class was maybe like 300 or $350, and then
Hmm.
another $360 each time to do the homework.
That kind of sounds like a scam.
And that's what I saw it as back then, especially. Um, but when I went to my second community college, that only happened maybe three, 4, or 5 times out of the 30 classes I had taken, which is pretty good.
Hmm.
And they weren't no $360. They were maybe like $50 here, $115 there. Um,
That's still quite a bit, though.
it is, but it certainly is better than 360. Plus
Yeah.
paying, I had to buy a special graphing calculator as well, which was also extremely expensive. Luckily, by the time I took college algebra the fourth time, I didn't have to buy no calculator, and I found everything online for free.
Hmm.
Um, so by that time, I wish it was a system where it's like if you fail a class, you can retake the class, and they weren't really negatively punishing you unless it was because I think in your case, because it was 2 semesters in a row, that's probably why they put you on academic probation,
Yeah.
especially it being all your classes. Um,
Hmm.
and I suspect that I probably was on academic, uh, not probation, because they never put me on probation where I couldn't take a class for a year. But I think they put me on like a warning or a watch list of some sort because my
Hmm.
grades were mixed. Um, Then I had an art class that was freaking crazy. I had a teacher who was basically trying to get everybody to buy a textbook. I never bought a textbook. She didn't care if you bought a textbook or not when you were in the class. It's like she was kind of, kept advertising this textbook. Everybody buy this textbook, and after first week, anyone who did not buy a textbook, she didn't care, what happened to them.
Yikes.
And you basically needed to study that textbook to do the quizzes in class, because it wasn't general knowledge and it wasn't something where you could write down notes, even though that's what I was doing then, writing notes down every time because the lady was pretty much discussing or reading off of the book. Um,
Hmm.
so that's what I was doing, was basically doing those, because we had basically random quizzes in class. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, which is completely different from the second community college. We never had random quizzes in class. It was always, if there was going to be a quiz, we would know ahead of time. Everybody would study, and 90 pretty much 99% of the time quizzes were online. You could take them whenever you wanted to, but they had a deadline.
Yeah,
um
that's the same with my college that I went to.
yeah, but that freaking first community college I went to was sucked. And then the art teacher, she basically failed me because she claimed that I never showed up for class.
Hmm.
And I ended up finding out that was not the case. It was due to her somehow finding out that I was half Russian.
Ah.
Yeah, and the lady was Polish, and she was also an artist, and an artist who specialized in anti-Russian propaganda slash works of arts.
Oh no.
Yeah, and and she mentioned that to the class before she ever really found out that I was half Russian, and I never made any indication at all that I had any Russian relationships, that my mom was Russian, that I knew Russian. I made no. I basically went silent as soon as I found that out.
Understandable.
Yeah. Um. So basically, what ended up happening was she found out somehow. I don't know if it was because she looked at like student information or what the case was, but she basically failed me for quote unquote like attendance or something of that nature.
Interesting.
Yeah. Math teacher sucked. The one I took in class. Teacher was also a high school and a middle school teacher, in addition to a college math teacher. Uh,
Yikes.
Based on what I understood, everybody who was taking her classes, nobody liked her. And all the students in my class, which I happened to get kind of an unlucky group, were people who had already taken the class and were basically experts on the subject, but were forced to
Hmm.
take the class regardless for whatever kind of crediting system that they had in place.
Isn't
And
that a good thing though?
well, it for me was a bad thing because the teacher would like gauge what the general class was taking the material at, and because our class was like appearing to be an expert on the material, she just kept skipping and skipping material.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that sucked. Um,
Makes
and
sense.
the last one I took in class, I think, was like English class, like a writing class, and I don't know what it's like in Canada, but in the U.S. they break it into two subjects. First one is writing and inquiry, is the name of the
Hmm.
second one, and of the first one, I mean. The second one is called research and development. Um,
Okay.
both of them suck. Both of them I took, and I think I got B's or C's in them. I passed both of them. Um,
Okay.
but I had to take them a second time, and the second time also sucked, and also got B's and C's. Um,
Hmm.
all the English teachers are crazy in some way. Either they have very like liberal ideas that make you kind of weirded out in some way, or
Ah,
yeah, they're kind of in that area. Um, I had one
that
teacher,
explains a lot.
yeah, I had one teacher who was crazy obsessed with Harry Potter. She was sort of a
Hmm.
like a redneck teacher who had somehow managed to fall in love for some Japanese guy. So she had a Japanese last name, and it was kind of a situation where it seems like the guy was blackmailed.
Ah,
Um, so I don't know the exact details, but the lady herself was really, really weird. Um, and we would always be taken into a computer lab for some reason.
hmm.
Um, which was fine for me because she never looked at what we were doing on the computers, and I would just go and play games while she was talking. Yeah, because
Yeah, my computer teacher at high school got really mad at me in particularly because we were allowed to bring headphones and listen to music on the computers, but if he caught us using them for music, then he'd slap our shoulders.
oh man, uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but the only computer class I passed was history. I got a straight A
Ah,
in U.S. history, and everything else I failed. The worst ones were freaking human mythology was the name of one class, which was a class on um, like stories from like ancient Rome, ancient Greece. It's kind of like folk tales or myth. Basically, it should have been just called mythology. I don't know why they call it human mythology. Um,
hmm. Yeah, I really enjoy Roman culture and stuff like that,
well, problem is they don't make
and
it a class
Roman
talking.
history.
Well, it's they label it as a humanities class, but it's really an English literature class. And
Hmm,
is there's
that's interesting.
yeah, and they basically get English teachers and they test you not on what you read, but on literary terms, like what a metaphor is, alliteration, simile. Um,
Hmm, isn't that high school stuff?
it basically is, but they re go over that, and but they test you to make sure you like are expert on that,
Hmm.
and it's really annoying. Hated taking those classes. The freaking human mythology I didn't pass, but then I had to take early American literature, which when I took it in high school, I got an A. But when I had to take it
Hmm.
in college, uh, it was very difficult. I thought I wasn't going to pass.
Interesting.
Um, so I feel like if you were in my area, I would have recommended for you to go to one college I know because it's like easy to go. It's easy to cheat if needed if that was the route needed. Um, teachers were a lot better. I, I had a system where I took a bunch of art classes that they counted as like it fulfilled basically the requirements I needed to graduate. Um, I had to take two Spanish classes, even though I took a bunch of Spanish in high school. The first one,
That's weird.
yeah, the first Spanish, I didn't even show up for 75% of the class, and teacher just messaged me saying, "Hey, just want to make sure you're all right." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I did all my work," and ended up getting an A. The second one was also on campus, and this teacher was crazy. Like They this teacher was like uh, not a native Spanish speaker. Her husband was, but she I think was like a translator or something. But she was
Hmm.
like my class happened to be like also high school mixed, um, meaning that the teacher would mark your attendance, and for every day you miss class, she would drop your grade by letter. Which I hate those.
That, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're sick one day, she wouldn't even care if you had a doctor's note or whatever.
Yeah, we had a teacher, well, for our classes, we would get 3 or 4 days we could skip, and then every day they'd remove 15% of our grade.
Yeah, I don't understand why they have that system. I mean, I get the point about attendance and all that, but if there's, a natural disaster or whatever,
Yeah.
I,
And yet the teacher can skip as well, and no one's punished for that.
oh yeah. For example, I took accounting. Uh, Teacher showed up for like only like it was an 8 week class. Teacher only showed up for like three, yeah, for 3 weeks out of the eight. She felt bad for everybody, and then she started giving out A's for everyone. So I had one of those, and
You getting called by someone? I could hear it
yeah,
over your
Alex
Discord.
Humane and a lot of groups are calling me. But
Ah,
I told them that I'm busy. I need to talk to Rooster before I forget to do that. Um, so anyway, I kind of what I took the first community college. I think I took 3 or 4 semesters. I don't remember exactly.
okay.
Um, then I quit, and then I restarted again. And
Hmm.
I think the second community college took me. I want to say it took me 2 or 2.5 years to finish. But this freaking university is taking forever because I have all my classes done. Now they have this freaking project that they want me to complete. And once I complete that project, I can then apply for graduation.
Hmm.
So I'm in kind of a limbo right now with my university. Um, but technically, I finished all my classes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so I don't need to pay any more money, but I gotta figure out this. They call it a passport program, and it's like 6 different levels of just nonsense work to do.
Hmm.
And one person took a look, and they said that I finished the first out of 6 levels, so at least I have that done.
Oh,
Um, and I'm somewhere between the second and third, but they don't. But they cannot even give me confirmation if I have the second one done or not. So
hmm.
that's what sucks right now. So it looks like I have to like do interviews with professors and do essays and all kinds of craziness.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah. So what how did your parents handle the whole thing?
Oh, they were expecting me to fail a lot sooner, like get kicked out a lot sooner.
Uh were they
Yeah.
on your side and understanding of what was going on?
Yes. 100%.
Okay, cuz my mom was pissed off about me, and let's just say things were not good between my mom and my grandmother. My dad kind of understood what was going on, and he blamed it on the lack of funding for public education. Um,
Hmm.
and uh, he basically was like thinking I should go and talk to one of my family members who's a lawyer, and he thought that I should maybe even go as far as seeing if it's possible to sue them. But
Hmm.
I never went down that route.
Yeah, because that would have cost you even more money.
Well, I don't even know what that would have costed. because it was a family member who supposedly was offering to help, but I don't
Hmm.
have too much detail on that right now, especially since this was like um, back in 2014, I think, when this conversation was happening.
Dang.
Uh, but yeah, I'm glad that at least I can somewhere, I don't even know where anymore. I have the actual physical diploma that I have an associate's degree or finished 2 years of college.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, so at least I have that, and in addition to like the high school and all that. But the university thing,
Yeah.
the only thing I have at this current moment is I have paperwork, documentations, and the ability to get transcripts stating that I have all the classes completed for the program.
Hmm.
But no one even freaking asks for any of that. So I don't even understand. It's like I can tell them that, hey, I have a degree in business, and they'll just straight up believe me without even checking, which I find really strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
Um, I'm sure there are certain companies that will conduct like an academic background check, but I have yet to run into any of those companies. I mean, and I've even worked for freaking Fortune 500 companies, and they don't even do that. It's like I think it's very dependent on like what position you're trying to get into. Like if you're going for like a corporate office position, then it's possible they will check that. But I don't know. It's a
Hmm.
really strange area, and it's like I wouldn't even worry about it if my mom, my grandmother wouldn't keep bugging me about it. But
Ah.
yeah, it's basically them. I'm more concerned about the business and career stuff. Um, but so yeah, so your parents were basically fine with you returning home.
Yep.
Um,
100%.
well, that's good because my family was really angry at me. I hate to remind myself of how bad that was. Um,
Yikes.
because they basically was like, "Oh, you threw your life away," this and that, and I never wanted to even go there in the first place at that point. And plus, the college was lying to me about what, because I thought I was doing something in like video game design. I was going to study, something I wanted rather than being like a general degree.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. Um. So, what is your plan now? How are you? Do you So, do you plan to maybe go to a different college or?
I'm probably going to. I'm most likely going to get work at Walmart very soon.
Okay. What about the
Yeah.
library position?
Yeah, that didn't work out at all.
Oh, what happened there?
Nothing. They never got back to me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Hmm. Because I'm wondering if maybe because I can think of two, three things off top of my head of things to maybe try out later. Because how old are you right now, Rooster? You're 20,
I'm turning 21 in August.
21. Okay. Yeah, because you Maine and Alex are trolling me now. Um, because I'm thinking since you're about to turn 21, I don't know what the rules in Canada are, but I feel like there's a few different options I can think of. Because if I was in a situation where I'm just thinking all kinds of different things in my mind, because you could go to like a technical school and learn a skill. That's one
Yeah,
option.
the only problem is I don't have the money for it.
Oh yeah, 'cause I forgot about that. Um, there are some countries that have free education. Um, and I'm trying to think what are some good ones for you off the top of my head. Um,
Hmm.
because I know when I was in Russia, a lot of people from Africa got free education in Russia for
Hmm.
whatever they were looking for. And in Russia, it used to be during the Soviet Union, you could go to school and learn and study anything for free as long as you could pass the entrance exams. And
Interesting.
then there were certain colleges where you didn't even need to do an entrance exam, or basically kind of an application. But it's I don't know, they've freaking completely changed up a lot of that, and now I'm like wondering what would make sense. And I'm looking back at other people I've talked to. I know one guy who decided to study um, like culinary arts, and he worked fast food for like a year, and then immediately found a job paying, I think he said 35 or 60 or 65,000 a year, doing some kind of chef position.
Hmm.
Um, I know one guy who went to go and study HVAC, if you know what that is. That's like air conditioning,
I
heating.
don't.
Um, basically, the industry involved with like AC installation, repair work, heating, duct work. But it's kind of like what I call the home industry.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
um, real estate could potentially work, but that's kind of a tough area to get into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, maybe truck driving is another option. I don't know what the rules are in Canada, but for here you have to get a commercial driver's license, which is basically you study a booklet and then you take an exam. If you pass the exam, they give you a permit, and that permit you go and you study the actual driving, so you get used to driving a semi truck, and
Hmm.
then once you learn all the ins and outs, um, you get the license. But I feel like I don't know what that's like in Canada though, because the one guy I know who did it in Canada, he would never really go up north in Canada, and he would be very careful of driving anytime during the winter.
Makes sense.
Um, but I know here in the U.S., it's a very profitable industry, and a lot of people I know from like from Russia, from Ukraine, uh, and then I know a lot of American truck drivers who like doing it as well because they get to explore different areas.
Hmm.
Um, toughest things is sometimes if you have a family, sometimes it's not easy to always be in touch with that family.
Yeah.
Um, which is I know a few truck drivers, but mainly the American ones can think of that seem to have that issue. Um, some truck drivers just bring their family with them because semi trucks usually have at least two, like a bunk bed system. Um, and then they have like two, three chairs in the front too that could turn into like a bed. Um,
Hmm.
that's another option, but for me, like I wouldn't be able to do that because I got my grandparents I have to take care of. But if that wasn't a factor, I would have certainly um, looked into that. Otherwise, Humane says that the time changed. Daylight savings? Let me see if that's the case.
Now you main's bugging me.
Oh, they did. Haha, we did lose an hour. Techn Yeah, Sunday, March 12th will spring forward 1 hour. Okay, that's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
12:22 a.m. right now.
12:22. It's 3:22 a.m. now, since they did the change. That's good to know. Alex says, "Poppy, you need to sleep in your crib. It's past your bedtime." Oh man. So you applied for the cashier position with Walmart, I believe, right?
That's I actually applied to all the positions,
Okay.
but I would prefer the either cart pusher or working in the back.
I think I don't know about the cart pusher position. I feel like it's
I'd be
okay.
working with someone I'd know.
Ah,
Yeah, because I have a friend working in the back and my sister's working on carts.
okay. I feel
Yeah.
like because here I don't know what they pay. What do they? What's the pay in Canada? Do you know?
Minimum wage is $15 an hour.
Okay, but do you know what Walmart would be offering?
Probably minimum wage.
Okay, because I don't know what Walmart's system in Canada is, but in US it used to be only minimum wage and only I think every year they would give a dollar raise. Because I know one guy or one friend whose dad worked at Walmart, and only after 5 years he went from like 7.25 an hour to $10 an hour. But this was like back in 2014. Um,
Before COVID.
yeah, basically, well, yeah, this was like 6 years before COVID. Um,
Yeah.
so to give some context, 15 Canadian is about 1082 US, so that's higher than the US minimum wage.
Yeah.
But our Walmarts start off at minimum for cashier position at 15 US an hour, which is like almost 21 Canadian an hour. Um,
Hmm.
but the backroom positions, which is what I would consider, they pay starting pays 18.50 an hour, which is like 26 Canadian an hour, which is not
Hmm.
bad at all.
Yeah.
Plus, the benefits include they pay for college attendance, tuition, textbooks, and everything. Basically, they Walmart will pay everything for college if you want to go study for something. Um, they also have a minute doctor thing, which is like if you're sick or you have any kind of health issue, you can call up a doctor and talk to a doctor um, for free,
Cool.
which is a good thing. Just to give you an example, when I didn't have that, one time when I went to regular doctor's visit, it cost me $400.
Well, that's
So
US, so yeah, that
yeah,
is very expensive.
extremely expensive. Um,
Yeah. Luckily, we have free healthcare.
yeah. So, and to give you an example, when I was in the
Well, pretty much free.
yeah, when I was in the ER for like a few hours, because back in October, uh, for those few hours that I was there, which was maybe like 3 or 4 at most, um, they charged $10,000 after insurance, which I paid like $180 or so.
Hmm.
Insurance basically covered 7,000 out of that 10,000, and then I'm stuck with the $3,000 bill.
Dang, that's still a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. $3,000 I can basically buy a car with that much money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was one story I heard where someone cut off two of his fingers during work, and they offered to attach the ring finger for 30,000 and the middle finger for 50,000. Which one? Guess which one he went with.
The ring finger or the middle? I don't know.
Yeah, the ring finger because it was cheaper.
Oh man, yeah, we wouldn't be And here's the weird thing, because in the U.S. there are laws that, like, if you can't pay for your hospital, they won't force you. Um, which I don't know how that works now, because I did an application, and when I applied, they asked for like my banking information, family history, and a bunch
Hmm.
of stuff, and basically I did not qualify. Uh, and I bet it's because of family income. Um, so it's not based on mine; it's based on like family household.
Uh,
And they basically, I guess, came to the conclusion that as a family we could afford to pay that 3,000.
hmm.
Um, freak. What else has been going on? I gotta freaking talk with Humane about this crazy stuff he's trying to send me on Discord.
Oh no.
Yeah. Um.
Depending on what stuff, I'm
Yeah, I gotta figure
scared
out whether or
about
not that's
that.
going to violate YouTube or not. Um.
Hmm. Why, you're live now?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens there. Freaking Humane and Alex keep trying to contact me. So, is your plan for now to go with Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know? Have they contacted you?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Okay. Any idea when you'll be starting to work there?
Contact them again on Monday.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, since I missed their call on Friday.
All right. Well, okay. So, and then I guess the last thing I was going to ask, so Rooster, are you going to be, uh, so are you going to be streaming more often now?
I'm going to definitely try.
Ah, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, Rooster, it's starting to get late, so I gotta see what Alex and Humane need right quick.
Yeah, it is getting late for me as well. I should go to bed so I can get to church and then go to a friend's place tomorrow.
All right.
And I'll be hanging out with him for hopefully the whole day tomorrow.
All right. Cool. That sounds good, Rooster. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna talk to you probably tomorrow or not later. Uh,
I don't think I'll be around tomorrow to talk.
uh well,
Yeah, since I'll be at my friends in church.
all right. Well, let
And
me
I
know.
most likely won't have my phone around.
Okay. Well, let me know uh how Walmart will go for you. And a lot of people have been messaging me asking you to get back on Roblox. Yeah. But yeah, but it's been nice talking to you, Rooster.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm
And here I thought we were just doing it off.
I don't know. I was trying to get because you main and freaking yeah, mainly you main was asking me, what happened to Rooster and all that. That you were like offline for
course.
like a month or two, and I'm like, no, it hasn't been that long. But
I haven't been posting for a while, but yeah.
yeah, it's because I know I've been telling people that you've been active on YouTube.
Yeah, I have uploaded a few YouTube clips.
Yeah, because I feel like if you start getting really active again, and especially if you do Roblox and then kind of spread out from Roblox, um, you should be able
Well,
to
I
get
know
to.
right now I get my most viewers from Trackmania, so I might start doing more Trackmania stuff
Uh,
if my OBS will allow it to actually run Trackmania because last stream it did not.
Yeah, I don't know why it split up your live stream into 3 sections.
That's because I turned off, or my stream crashed a few times and I reset my computer once and I turned it off once.
Uh, all right, Rooster. Well, I'll talk to you